How's it going, guys? Seeker here. In this video we're going to be going over the ongoing Upright Metal Challenge. Quick disclaimer before I start the video. I am not a free-to-play player. I do invest money in the game, and as a result I have access to some pretty powerful medals that allowed me to clear the event relatively easily. However, for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to just be spamming a bunch of really powerful medals in front of you guys. I'm going to be using medals that everyone should have or should have relative ease of access to in order to make sure that I'm helping you guys out. I know I can clear this event, but the purpose of making this video is to help out anyone who might be struggling with it. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the event. And what we're going to be going over here is, again, it's not about the medals so much as it is about the concept that you should be using. And as far as we're focusing on the concept, we're only going to be going over one of the bosses, because just to save on time, I don't think there's really a point in going through all three. If you apply this concept correctly, you should be able to just mix and match your medals to align with the concept that's being used here. So let's go ahead and look at the setup and see exactly what I'm talking about. So as you can see, these medals everyone should have at this point. There's the two, like the tier 7 medals in the back here. Those have been being distributed pretty regularly for like the past month or so. So these are medals that everyone should have at this point. There's a DuckTales medal from that banner a little while ago. It doesn't really matter which one, I'm just using this one because it makes the Keyblade look a little bit nicer, because this Keyblade does look pretty messy. We all got the King Mickey and then Namine and the key art bonds. Those are available in the new permanent deals that came in to replace the old ones, which were absolutely terrible. So what we're going to be looking at here is that the Namine, if you notice, it's only level 1, and it's not gilted, it doesn't have any traits or anything like that. You don't need that. Same thing for the Mickey. I did level it up to 100, but it's not going to be dealing any damage at all, even with that. It doesn't have skills, it doesn't have traits. The key art bonds, it is gilted, but only at 89%. It's got a defense boost 2 and a max HP plus 800, both of which do not matter. A 1200 guard armor is still going to one-shot you no matter what. So the purpose of the first half of this Keyblade, those 3 medals right there, are to abuse this Mickey and get that upright bonus going for you as strong as possible to get you 3 tiers. Because if you don't know already, in this game, the most important buffs to get established are your upright and reversed buffs, and then generally speaking after that, your general buffs and debuffs are the next most important, followed by your attribute buffs and debuffs. And what's really nice about this Mickey is that not only is he giving you that upright bonus, but he's also doing some of the attribute buffing and debuffing for the Hercules on the end. Then we have in the 4th slot, we have the Huey, Dewey, Louie. And the whole reason for that is because it's got 3 attacks, including itself, that it will apply these buffs to. So the King Mickey is getting you your upright buffs, and then the Huey, Dewey, and Louie will be making sure that your general buffs all go through and max out your general attack up, the enemy's general defense down, so that will be maxed out. Now we're going to look at this Sora. As you can see, it's not gilted, and its traits are garbage. It doesn't have to be a damage-dealing medal, but if you have one, and it's gilted and everything like that, and you put it in this slot, then more power to you. It'll give you a little bit of extra damage. You won't really need it, but if you have it, it's not a bad thing to have. I just put mine here because it gives me that last, it gives me one more upright bonus, so that my upright strength will be up 4, and then because the guard armor starts out with that +2 general defense, the general defense down will finish off the guard armor's defense after the Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Because if it starts out with a +2 and Huey, Dewey, Louie lowers it by 7, it'll be down to -5, so then this Sora will come in and finish it off. And as you can see, it's not gilted. I did Dale it, I didn't chip it, I don't know why I did that. There must have been a reason, so I'm gonna leave it that way for now. But the point is as you can see on these first 5 medals, they're not geared towards doing damage at all. The point of this strategy is to use the first 5 slots of your setup, your actual Keyblade, to give you all the buffs that you need for the medal in your pet slot. This one is geared towards damage. It's chipped out, it's max skilted, it's got the attack boost 5 max and gauge 1, however, it does not have any traits. You won't really even be needing traits as long as you've got a pretty solid medal in your friend slot, and the friend slot in this event is really important. It's kind of how we're tricking the system here, because it's only letting you use Keyblades that are the exact same type as the enemy you're going against. So in this case, it's Sleeping Lion, which is speed, against a guard armor, which is speed. So at best, if you're trying to push for damage on your first 5 slots, you're only going to get neutral damage. You can't get any like super effective damage. So we're using our pet slot to get that neutral buff that it applies. In my case, the 2.8. It's going to apply neutrally to whatever medal you put in there. So no matter what color you put in, you're going to get that 2.8 multiplier. So your pet slot is going to be a medal, a hard-hitting medal that is the opposite color of the enemy you're facing. So against the guard armor, it's going to be Hercules because it's power versus speed. And then against the Queen Bee, you'll just swap it out for a hard-hitting speed medal. And then against the Gummy Hound, you'll just swap it out for a hard-hitting magic medal. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump in, and we're going to see exactly how this plays out. There is a chance that the critical hit will not land. I think I need a critical hit in order to clear this, but we're going to see how it goes. So first half of the Keyblade, Nominee is going to copy the King Mickey, and we're going to get that King Mickey 3 times to make sure that we have the 3 upright buffs from the King Mickey. Then after that, the Huey, Dewey, and Louie is going to establish our general attack, max it out, and get the guard armor down to -5 general defense. Sora's going to come in, finish up that general defense down, and give 1 more upright. And then Hercules is going to come in and put it down to 304. So I think this is when we're going to be able to clear it. It's going to kill me, but my pet is going to revive me. If your pet is not at the point where it can revive you, you can just go ahead and stick a second chance medal. I believe they're pretty easy to obtain right now. You can just go ahead and stick a second chance medal on any of these medals that I'm using, or the medals that you're using, depending on how your setup looks, in order to get that, because we should be able to 2-turn it here. So Sora's going to go off. We don't even have to use the Nova. That's the cool thing about this. We just have to abuse that medal in the pet slot, and it should... Okay, so it gets it down to 1.5, roughly 1.5 HP bars left. And then I am going to die. I'm never spend jewels to continue an event ever. This is such a bad idea. So it didn't quite work out that time, but we're gonna run it one more time just to see if it will. But you can see how, like for example, if my Sora, if I probably went ahead and even put chips on it and just gave it that plus 1000, that'd probably be enough to put it over the edge and take out the guard armor, because it's only got that like bar and just a little bit left after that. But we're really gonna try to push and see if we can clear it with just this setup. I have done it before. I think a critical hit is applying, but I've gotten it off pretty frequently, to the point where I'm confident we can pull it off in this video. So we're going to be running through, and again, the first 5 slots, everything that the first 5 slots are about are just making sure that all your buffs are in place, so that your medal on the pet slot, which is the medal that is the opposite color of the enemy you're facing, can dish out the maximum number of damage. So now we got it down to 298 HP bars, which is below 300, so I believe that critical hit did kick in. So we're going to get revived by the pet, and then I believe on this run we will be able to get it. So I'm going to show you guys, even without traits, even without skills on really anything except that pet medal, you can gear it so that you can clear it. I don't even have to use the Nova again, like not even touching my Nova, just the medals themselves are going to be able to take this thing out. So this should get it right here. Yes, got it. So 2-turned it without any like super crazy damage medals or anything like that, using relatively accessible medals. I even have some level 1 medals in there, and was still able to clear it in 2 turns. If you find yourself struggling, like if you don't have the Hercules or like a medal like that powerful, and your pet is at the point where it can revive you, then if you have that revive and then stick a second chance on one of the other ones, you'll get 2 revives, so you'll have 3 turns, and that can push you over the edge. so you can use that against any of the bosses that you might be struggling with. But that's the concept that you want to be using in order to pass this, is you just want to make sure that the first 5 slots of your setup are geared towards making sure that your pet metal, the metal in your pet slot, which is the opposite color of the enemy that you're facing, can deal the most damage and take it out pretty quickly. So I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any other tips, comments, or anything like that, and anything to help me out, anything to help out each other, go ahead and leave that down in the comments. It's always good hearing from you guys. Love helping you guys out. And I will see you in the next one.